And we are live. Welcome. What a big day. Honestly, a lot of new links coming in. I'm really excited to talk about this stuff. We have Eberechi Eze linked to Arsenal yesterday. Now, this is big signing for us. It seems like it's between Rodrigo and Eze right now. Eze has a release clause of about £68,000. Rodrigo, it is reported that we can probably get him for around £77 million. Now, those are good numbers for the level of player that you're going to get. Eze, though, Prem proven, a little bit more creativeness in him. I do think Rodrigo is a very creative player, but I think Eze's got that little bit of an edge on him because of the way he can run Crystal Palace's attack. He's their main guy. He's running it. I mean, he did a pretty good job right now. We're going to look at some of his stats in a little bit, but before we get into that, I want to talk about a signing that we're a little bit more closer of getting. I know we had a bid rejected today, but that is this man right here, Christian Mosquera, Mosquito, the Mosquito Bite. I like that name for him. The Mosquito Bite. He is looking good. This looks like it's going to be wrapped up pretty soon. I want to probably give it. Knowing Arsenal, we don't like to do business on the weekends. We are completely not a 40-hour work week. Doesn't seem like a lot of people put the effort in on the weekends, so it's a little slower. I would say that if we don't get this deal done today, I feel like we're going to get it done on Monday, which is okay. You know, it takes time to get the deal we want. I think we offered right around 17 million euros. The release clause or what they're willing to accept is probably closer to 25, that's good. I mean, I do appreciate how Berta is trying to get the best deal out of these players and especially these young backup guys. So if we can get him for around 17 to 18 plus add-ons, so roughly 20 million. I think that's a great signing for depth and a young right-footed center back that can help place Saliba if, God forbid he gets hurt or he needs to rotate. So that's good. Think about it, 2 or 3 years ago, we had Rob Holding stepping in for Saliba. I think this guy's a huge improvement on that depth. We don't have Rob Holding anymore. Where did he go? He went to Crystal Palace, wherever the hell he went. So this is good. This is a step in the right direction for our squad depth, and I really like the way we're going and the way we're maneuvering the market right now, finding the best of the best deals for cheap. We're saving that wage for, hopefully for Gyökeres. I mean, that transfer saga it's endless. I mean, luckily we haven't heard much about it, but I think Fab Ram tweeted this is going to be a busy summer for Arsenal, and we're finally stepping up into the transfer market. We're getting the players that we've been linked with. This is good news for us. I haven't seen much of this guy play, but shout out to Curtis Shaw TV. I was listening to his broadcast this morning. He's a great streamer. That's where I got a lot of my influence from. But he was saying that he knew a guy who watches the La Liga pretty consistently, and he actually lives in Spain. He said this guy's a baller. This guy is raw talent. He had the number one ground duel percentage in La Liga last year. For a 20-year-old, that's pretty good. That just shows that he has so much potential, and I think stepping up from La Liga to the Prem, it's a lot more physical. So let's see how he can kind of adjust to that. He looks like a pretty physical player, and from what I've seen, I mean, like I said, I haven't really watched this guy enough. Excuse me, but I definitely need to. So this is a player that I'm pretty excited about for someone that can rotate with Saliba. I feel like Saliba didn't really have that break last year, and it kind of led to his downfall where he was getting injured. And I don't even he's injured. He had to go to rehab, early into the summer. I think he's doing better now. And for the likes of, Gabriel, luckily we have Kivior, who stepped up really big, and we had Calafiore that could play left center back. So we have that left-sided coverage, but we do not have that right-sided coverage. Ben White, Saliba, Jurrien Timber. Jurrien Timber coming off of an ACL ending injury, his first game for Arsenal last year, to step up and play every single game. Is that what we want to do and how we want to manage our players? I don't really agree with. We need it, and obviously Ben White was hurt. So this bringing in Mosquera is huge for us to add to that squad depth, that defensive squad depth. Right back, Ben White, Jurrien Timber. Right center back, Saliba, Mosquera. Left center back, Kivior, Gabriel. Left back, Calafiore, Skelly. Let's offload Zinchenko, get him off our wage books. He is way too expensive on the wages. Letting him go for, I think, reported fee of 10-12 million, sure, that's good. We paid, maybe 20 million euros for him, or pounds for him. I don't even remember. But again, he's high wages. We want to get him off our wage book. From reports, it seems that Mosquera is only on $3,000 a week. That's nothing. Almost 150 million euros, euros. He's in Spain, so he's getting taxed on that. He's not making that much. We're gonna probably 10 times. I would even say 20 times his wages. So he's probably gonna make between. If I were Berta and I was talking to him about personal terms, I'm probably offering him 40 to 50. I think that's a good step in the right direction for Mosquera, and I think that that's reasonable enough where he's getting that wage increase and he still has incentive. He's happy. I'd be happy if I went from $3,000 a week. I'd be happy making $3,000 a week. I'm not getting any views on this right now. I'm not making any money. I'm doing this for the love of it. But man, if YouTube was like, yo, we're paying you $3,000 a week, okay, I'm in. I'm taking that deal any day of the week. And then to go from $3,000 to 30, 40, 50, wow. I'm very, very thankful for the club that's going to pay that. And I think he should be really happy coming to Arsenal. It seemed like personal terms were pretty easy for him to accept, so we must have offered him a pretty solid salary, and that's good. It's exactly what we want. We're seeing this change. It seems like Berta just got back from holiday. Honestly, he's finally working, and I don't think it's fair that we judge him so soon. I think that he is doing a good job right now. He was keeping those tabs on this player. See, this is where I'm a little concerned, though. We sign Mosquera, but do we still sign Hato? Is that left center back still getting fulfilled? I understand we could probably keep Kivior, which I think would be probably the best bet. We keep Kivior, Calafiore, Lewis Kelly, and I think we can rotate Kivior, Calafiore as our left back option, and then we can slowly implement Lewis Kelly into midfield. Now, I don't see that being right away. I think that's more so for mid-season, December, a little bit of a shakeup in tactics. We tend to do that. 2 years ago, we had that crazy run-in where, we scored 5-6 goals a game, and that was after the Dubai trip. Now, we try to repeat that this year, and it led to Havertz getting injured. So I don't think that's going to be on the schedule this year again. I think there's some bad juju with it now. So, but like I was saying, what does this mean for Hato? Are we still going to get him? That's a player that we've been tracking since he was 15 years old. And I think that he's a good, solid player for us. And that would help move. I think the end goal for this year, and what I would be the most happy about, is if we moved Lewis Kelly to midfield. That's his natural position. Don't get me wrong. I love what he's doing at left back, but he is just such a good ball carrier that I think if we play him in that Rice role, that box to box, he's going to be a different level of player for us this year. And he's going to add something that he adds at Declan Rice support. Norgard isn't coming in here to replace Declan Rice. That's a little unreasonable. He's coming in to be a more physical 6. So that's what we need from him. Zubimendi, he is a physical 6, but he's more of a ball playing 6. He's a player that is going to get the ball at the edge of our box, and he's going to move it up the pitch, and we're going to create a lot more counterattack. And that's what we needed this year. We had too much slowing play. I mean, Odegaard would turn around and do his thing, whatever. So I think that is my end goal. I think that would classify as success this year if we start moving the pieces and getting people to where they add a little bit more of a newer approach to the tactics of Arteta's system. And I think Lewis Skelly to midfield is a big one for us, and I think that's what we should end up doing. Now, there's another big news, and that's Eze Eberiche. Like that name. That's an Arsenal kid. He was in our academy when we were young. We released him, and I think we should bring him back. He's such a creative player for Crystal Palace, and I think we lack that. We lack that creativity, that final push in the opposition's box. Like, how many times did Odegaard is a game breaker. He's not a chance creator. I mean, there is a lot of examples of him creating chances, him and Havertz and Saka, and he does do well creating chances, but this season he did struggle. This was a rough season for him, and I understand why. You get hurt, it scares the player, it hurts the mentality of the player. He was on a roll. He was doing so well for us 2 years in a row. He was our most valuable player. He was player of the season 2 years in a row. This year he got scared. He hurt his ankle. He said, "Oh man, I'm not, injuries happen. It's part of the game." And I was really upset when Odegaard got injured, especially because it was on international duty. What was the point of that? I mean, don't even get me started about the amount of games that these players play. It's ridiculous. This Club World Cup, absolutely useless for the sport. I don't know. Nobody's even going to the games. I mean, as an American, I'm disappointed with the fact that they're even trying to put this on, because I understand growing the sport to different countries. That's amazing. We do want to grow the sport. I mean, how much do we really need to grow it though? Really? Because this is the biggest sport in the world. But you're giving smaller teams a fan base, which I do appreciate, and you're giving them that exposure. I think it's great for small teams. But does Man City, Juventus, Real Madrid, those are your big names. That is bringing people in for sure, but even those games aren't getting anybody. I watched the Juventus Man City game, first game I've watched this tournament. I'm definitely going to watch the Inter Miami and PSG game. That's a great game. It's Messi. Obviously, I'm going to watch Messi play. He's the GOAT. But that Juventus Man City game was, first of all, Man City looks scary. Pep's definitely changed something, but again, Juventus, is it their strongest team? No, it's not their strongest team. I don't think that they were, both teams are already in. I think there was a different mindset heading into the game. It's in Orlando. It's a hot stadium. I just don't see it as a real test of what both teams could really do. I do think, I mean, we proved it last year. Man City they're not invincible. We can beat them, and we did. So I'm not too worried about what I'm seeing in this Club World Cup. I just still think it's a clear money grab. It's so embarrassing that FIFA is putting this on. So I mean, it's not what I like to see, and I think it's useless for the sport right now. Yeah. So what was I saying? Eze is a great signing for us. I mean, he's going to add creativity through the midfield, and I know he's kind of like a left wing. I don't think he's going to be the strongest player in the left wing, and I think this honestly, he thrives in the center of the field, rotating from the left side of the box to the right side of the box, and I think that's where we're going to get the most out of him if we do sign him. I don't think that him playing left wing and floating into the center is going to really strengthen our left-handed side. I think that the left-handed side, if we have an overlapping left back with with Lewis Skelly, and we have Eze going into the midfield, and Lewis Skelly is a pivotal left back. He comes in, he does the false back, so he goes into the center of the field. Is that what we need for the left-handed side? Is that going to strengthen our left-handed side? No, it's going to make it a weak point, because Eze's not a Martinelli. Martinelli backtracks, probably one of the best left wings to backtrack in the Premier League, and Eze's not that. He's not gonna. You're gonna tire him out. We're gonna get injuries. It's gonna happen. But like, if he's always backtracking, I don't think that's how we should use this player. This is a creative player, a player that can break the low block. Like, that's what we want. We want players that can make behind the line runs, and players that can create motion and disruption. Now, what we basically do, or what teams do to scout us, is they say, let's double up Saka. Okay, so we have 2 on Saka. Great. They're not really worried about Martinelli. They're not 2ing up Martinelli, because let's be real, Martinelli struggled this year with one-on-ones. He couldn't really handle them. Hakimi absolutely destroyed him in that PSG leg. So I think that if we have a threat on the left side, which as a Rodrigo, I think Rodrigo would be more of that threat on the left-handed side. So we have Rodrigo, doubled up Rodrigo, double up Saka. That's 4 players on your left and right winger. Now match that with Gyökeres, Sesko. I mean, even Havertz, despite popular to be belief, for some reason people don't like him, but you get a clinical striker that is an upgrade from Havertz. I mean, we're gonna be okay. We're gonna be fine to break that back line of our opposition, because they're gonna now have to scout 3 players. I mean, that's why Liverpool, when they had Salah, Gakpo, Diaz, they were so hard to defend against. You'd run the ball down the wing with Salah. Then you had double up on Salah. He was the highest goal scorer this year. He was the best player in the Prem. So we had to double up on him. Then you have Luis Diaz, who's a fast-paced winger and can really push the ball in transition and counterattacks. So then your defense is backtracking, and you're moving the ball between those 3. Who are you going to stop first? Are you going to stop the fastest guy that can get to the end line and do a cut-in with Luis Diaz, or are you going to stop the Prem's top goal scorer? I mean, it's like you choose. I think Arsenal need that threat. We don't have that right now. Martinelli is a great fast-paced player, but he gets the ball, he kind of loses his flair a little bit, because he's probably already tired from backtracking as much as he does when we do lose the ball in counterattacks. And we're not perfect. We give the ball up in counterattacks pretty frequently, and I feel like that's where most of the goals we conceded came from. I still think we have a great defense, but we don't really thrive defensively in chaos. That's when we struggle the most. We're really good when it comes to when a team is playing possession, like Man City, and well, not even Liverpool. Liverpool had a different approach this year, and they were really pushing counterattacks a lot. So I think that we need to, we need to create chaos ourselves, because we're not really doing a good job at that. And I think that's something that, bringing in Eze or Rodrigo helps us do. Now let's look at the stats. I mean, Eze had a great year this year, and he won the FA Cup. It's exactly what we need. We have 14 goals, 12 assists. Now, if that's not a creative player, I don't know what is. He's putting up numbers pretty frequently. You can see here. I mean, he's getting double-digit goals. He lacks an assist for the last 2 years, and then he really stepped it up this year, which is honestly a good sign, though, that he's improving. And as a 26-year-old player, I don't think he's hit his prime just yet. He hasn't really had that team that was lifted him. I mean, Crystal Palace gave him the go-ahead, and he was like, you run this, and he did a great job. Clearly, he had 26 goal contributions this year. That's amazing. But like if he had the attacking power and that defensive support of Arsenal, I think we'll see a better result from him. I think that he'll play with a little bit more confidence. I mean, him and Odegaard, I can see like really matching up well. I can even see him playing in a lot of good crosses for, whoever we sign up top. And I think him and Saka already have a really good relationship with the England squad. And I think that that's someone that is going to come in and he's going to mesh well with this team. And I think that's really important. And that's exactly what we need. We need an immediate impact. He's Prem proven. He does well in the Prem. I mean, he just beat Man City in the FA Cup with his goal. He scored the winning goal against Man City. I mean, he brought Crystal Palace their first trophy in, God, I don't even know how long. It might have been their first trophy ever for all I know. I don't really follow Crystal Palace like that, but I mean, that's exactly what we need right now. We're a team looking for trophies. We want to bring in a guy that just led a team that has maybe 0 trophies to their first trophy. I think that's sums it up pretty well of what we want to do. And then let's look at Rodrigo. Now you got to take with a grain of salt comparing La Liga to the Premier League. I mean, La Liga, there's a lot of talent in La Liga, don't get me wrong. But again, like, is it as physical? Is it as aggressive as the Prem? No. I mean, the Championship is more physical, more aggressive than the Premier League. I mean, that's a easy observation. You go lower in the English pyramid, you're seeing a lot more grit plays and players. I mean, even Ben Foster talks about it on his podcast. He says, that it's different gravy going down the English pyramid, and he's done it. So I want to take it with a grain of salt, but also you got to think in your head, Rodrigo was playing out of position for Real Madrid. Playing out of position, and he's still putting up 24 goal contributions. What could we offer him if we gave him that left wing platform? What could he do for us? He's a great get down to the byline, cross it in type player. And he is creative. He's better at one-on-ones than Martinelli for sure. And maybe, I would really hope that we don't have to sell Martinelli to get Rodrigo. That would really, I think, mess up things. If we were going to sell one of them, I think Trossard has to be the one we sell. He's a little bit older. Trossard's a great bench player, though, but he is a little bit older, and I think we should cash in on him. I think Saudi Pro League's looking at him like, let's get that over the line. Let's get that boost of, maybe we could squeeze out 30 mil for Trossard, and we're making a profit on him after that. So let's try to do that and squeeze out 30 mil if we can. We can also bring in Rodrigo after that. So we have Martinelli, Rodrigo, 2 Brazilians, 2 Brazilian flair players. Martinelli lost his flair over the years with the system that Arteta's putting him in, where he favors the right side. Martinelli's like the forgotten child on the left side of the field, and that's kind of not how he's going to perform his best. Think about the early days in his teenage years when he started coming up through the ranks of Arsenal. Unai Emery kind of platformed Martinelli, and Saka was still playing left back. So, you gave him that platform, and he put in really good numbers for us when he was still so young, and that's why everyone was like, oh my gosh, we have something in the works right now. We have a really good player that's going to step in, and this is our quote unquote star boy, But that happened to be Saka as well. So we have 2 really good young players that were coming up through the ranks, and then kind of when Arteta took over, he really platformed Saka more than Martinelli, which they offer their own really good abilities and techniques. Saka's obviously really good with his left foot, and he's quick and shifty, and he can cut up field, put in a perfect ball, and then someone can get ahead to it, or we can tap it in. Saka's great at that. Martinelli's fast. He's pacey, and he's that pace injection into the squad. How many times, even Real Madrid, he got the ball up the field, ran, boom, broke the line, 1-on-1 with Courtois, goal, 2-1. And we ended up winning that leg. So that is like what you got to look at when you see the left and right sided players. But I just do worry about our left side, and I think I'll be disappointed if we don't sign a left-sided player, because I don't want to see another year where we're heavily favoriting the right side again. Why can't we be a dual threat? It makes no sense to me, and I think that's something Arteta needs to look at, and I'm sure he is. Like, let's be a dual threat team where people don't know how to defend us. They don't know who to defend, who to put their, the eggs in the basket. Who are we going to defend? Are we going to defend Saka? Are we going to defend Gyökeres or Sesko? Are we going to defend Rodrigo, Eze, or Martinelli? Who are we going to defend? That's the kind of question you want the opposition to ask themselves. You want them to not be confident in their ability to guard everyone, and I think that's kind of where we lack right now. But I mean, this is kind of everything we've been gifted today. It's a great day for news for us, and I think that we're going in a step in the right direction for how we're building this team. And we're seeing Berta work, and I don't think it's fair to judge him just yet. I think we kind of need to keep letting him work. It seems like he's really stepping on the gas now, which is great because we have preseason coming up in July, and the boys are heading to Asia on the 19th. So let's try to wrap up business by then. Let's sign one more. If we can get, Zubimendi, Kepa, Norgard, Mosquera over the line by the end of June, let's say by Monday, and it looks like that could be the case, then let's bring in one star player. And I know Arteta's expressed it that he wants that star striker in by preseason. So let's help him out and let's give him that. And then let's worry about the left-sided player, after, the Club World Cup has really thrown a wrench in this with Rodrigo because we can't really communicate with him. He's not playing, so that's a great sign for us that, maybe we can get him over the line. But again, we still have to wait for him to be like, I don't want to play and I would like a move. You got to wait for the player. We can influence him as much as we can, but still, I think that we need to work on, let's get our striker in. I think the left wing, it is a priority, but I still think it's not as big as a priority as a striker. And this striker saga is it's long, it's dragging on, but I think we should all stay patient, and it's going to happen. We're going to sign someone. Berta's working on multiple deals. It's not just Sesko and Gyökeres. Don't get me wrong. If we bring in Ollie Watkins, there's a chance that, this is going to be the longest year of my life, because I don't think that's a good signing for us. And I think that's a step in the wrong direction. Sure, I get it. He's English. He's Prem proven. He's an Arsenal fan. He always expresses that, and he would love to play for us. But again, are we really going to waste 60 million euros or pounds on a 30-year-old striker? No. He's a great player. Don't get me wrong, but again, let's invest money in the youth. Let's invest money in the future. In Gyökeres, he's 27 or so. He's older, but again, we can get him for 5 more years, and he'll be 31, 32. You can still be a good player at that age, and let's just see. He's the most informed striker right now. I think that he's going to be a good addition no matter what. I think that he bullied Saliba, and when we played them in the Champions League, I mean, I've seen him bully, Pepe and a lot of great center backs that are in the Portuguese league. I mean, he's doing well, in there. And I do think that Darwin Nunez really messed up any future business that Premier League sides do with the Portuguese, because he was just such a waste of 80-some million euros or pounds that they paid for him. So I think that's kind of thrown a wrench in this deal, which is crazy to say that one player kind of ruined that league for the rest of the teams in the Prem. But I do think that he is still a solid striker, and he can be that person for us and make that impact. I don't think it's fair that you bring in Sesko for the price tag and the wage, and he's still so young, and you expect him to be this all-star. I just don't think people thrive in that position at all. And you're already putting so much pressure on him to come in and be an instant impact. And I don't think Šeško would handle that as well as Gyökeres, because he's a player that has way more experience than Šeško, and he's played in, you know, the championship with Coventry. I think he's played for Swansea in the championship as well. He's played in the Prem with Brighton. He's played in the Portuguese league with Sporting. So I think that that's enough to give him that experience to kind of be an instant impact. I believe that championship, when he was with Coventry and he was doing really well with them, I think that kind of makes me believe that maybe he is ready for the Premier League, because like I said before, the championship is a lot grittier and a lot more physical, kind of more an aggressive style of play. And then you get up to the Premier League, it's more, you know, more about finesse and more about, you know, stringing together the right passes and, you know, more systematic. I do think the championship is a system. There's systems to it, but it's a little bit more gritty than the Premier League. And I think that Gyökeres will thrive in that too. So those are my thoughts. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. I know there's one person watching, but enjoy your weekend. Yeah. Awesome, man.